Welcome back to another one. We're finally back out in the garage. The last time we were out here, we were working on a D16 motor for the Civic Wagon, which we have to shelf that for now because we have to work on the Miata again. If you follow me on Instagram, you should know that we blew the transmission up in the last event we went to, which was an event that I hosted. It was a private event for all my friends, and the first lap out, we blew the transmission, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But now we have a 6-speed transmission, which is this right here, which should hold up to the powers that I'm trying to get, which is about 300 to 400 horsepower. I think these should be rated to like 400 or something. The 5-speed transmission is only for like 250, so that's basically why it broke. So if you're trying to drift a turbo Miata, save yourself some headache, save it for a 6-speed, make that like your second thing to do after you turbo it, or make it the first thing you do and then turbo it. Because trust me, you're gonna blow a 5-speed up sooner or later. It's gonna happen to you. I've seen it happen countless times with all my homies. Save yourself a headache. So before we jump into it though, I did finally release some new merch. It's a new shirt with the Turbo Miata on it, and it is hot. My buddy Paul at Fox Designs did another killer design. It's live on my site now. I have it in black, purple, blue, and gray. Go cop yours now. So now, let's jump into it. So, as most Miata guys should know, these 6-speed transmissions are getting very expensive. It was hard for me to find one over $1,000. But, my friend sent me a link to this guy in the UK, and he's selling these bad boys for $8.25 a pop. Shipped to the States. It's wild, and I got it in a week. I'll put his link in the bottom. If you're looking for a 6-speed, hit him up. Dude's awesome. So the first thing we need to do is remove all the stuff inside the car before we jack it up. Just makes it a lot easier. So we need to remove the center console, the shifter, and then the shifter inside the transmission, so it's easier to get out from the bottom. So first we need to remove this. Then we need to remove a screw here, screw there and there, and a screw right there, and then one on the other side. So once all that's removed, kind of grab it, pull it out, put it right there. So next, we got to remove this, which mine's broken. Yours should be connected, but it's 10 mils here, and then 10 mil here. Ugh. So when you take this out, get a rag, because it's gonna have transmission fluid all over it. Alright, so once you get the car jacked up, we're going to drain the fluid. Then we got to remove the PPF, remove that speed sensor. We also have to remove the drive shaft. You loosen those up and we'll just push the PPF over. Got that drained, got everything removed. Now went ahead and put the PPF all the way off. Now we need to remove the slave cylinder, which is right here. Should be 212s. To get the slave off, you want to remove this wheel so you can get under there, especially if you're fat. Can't really get under there. So get the wheel off. So I got the slave out, just rests on the control arm. So next we got to remove all the 17s that go around the bell housing. And then on the starter, there is a 14 millimeter, I think, that you need to get out as well. There's 2 of them. So those always have bit me in the ass, so don't forget to do that. So the top 2 bolts are kind of a pain in the ass to get to. I usually have an assortment of extensions and then wobblers, kind of break it loose and then run it out with an impact. So good luck, it's a pain. Well, those 2 bolts did kick my ass. The one on the passenger side was really, really hard, and this is what I had to do. So as you can see, I have lowered the cradle to try to get enough angle for the tool to go straight, the impact to go straight and get the wobble bit out. The wobble bits lose a lot of torque. The less extensions and wobbles you have, the more torque you get, which means easier the bolt comes off. So I only had 1 extension on there. I was able to zip it off, and there's 1 more bolt you need to get off that is a bitch, and it's kind of hard to see, but it's a little 12 millimeter that holds on, I think the starter as well. So I'll show you it. There's a little 12 millimeter right in the middle of the frame between those 2 holes. You gotta get that off. I don't know how many times I pulled this transmission and forgot that and yanked on this thing, pried on it, and it hasn't come off, so don't forget that little bolt. So I removed all the bolts. I have 1 left holding it together. Got the transmission jack ready. Highly suggest using that unless you want to manhandle this thing out. It's kind of a pain, but you can do it. So let's get her out. Hey, yo, Justin, live on the set. All right, we got it out finally. Now let's get this unwrapped. Well, that was a lot of packaging, but that dude killed it. Didn't get any fluid leaking out during shipping. So now we have to replace the output shaft seal. Also need to replace this guy, but I do not have it. That's just kind of one of those things you want to do while it's out of the car. It's just a little bit easier, so let's knock it out. To remove the output shaft seal, usually stand the transmission up and then pry it out. But this guy, supposed to be a 6-speed one, is too big. It's bigger than that, so I gotta figure that out. In the meantime, before you put a transmission in, always loosen the fuel plug. Just in case it's seized and whatnot, you can have a better time trying to get it unseized while it's out of the car. So another tidbit for you. Also some tidbit information, 97 through 01 6 speeds are like a little bit different up here from the 02 to 05 6 speeds. And I think from what the internet says is that this VIN plate being right here is an older model. So I'm assuming that this is a 5-speed output shaft seal. So there's that if you run into this issue as well. We're gonna return this and just send it for now because this needs to go in there. I don't need to wait any longer. She's finally in. We also got the cradle all bolted back up, and we have the PPF all bolted up as well. So now we have to fill this thing up with transmission fluid. I decided to go with Lucas. These take 75 W90. I think the 6 speeds take just under 2 quarts, so probably get 3 just to have a little extra. And you need to get one of these little pumps because we're going to be pumping it inside this hole right here. So after a little while of you pumping fluid into it, it'll start seeping out of the hole. Once it starts seeping out, that means this bad boy is full, and you put the fill plug back on and you're done. So we're back in the car now. We just need to put all this back together, put that rubber boot back on and the actual shifter. You don't have to fill this up with fluid like you would on a 5-speed. This is all one unit, whereas a 5-speed is separate units. So don't put any more fluid in it. It should be good. So let's get all this put back together. All right, center console's back on, shifter and everything is good to go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and reverse. So we didn't get gypped, it is a 6-speed transmission. So now, let's get this car on the ground and go for a test drive. So I got y'all hooked up on a new mount. Hopefully this sounds good. But let's go for a test drive. Really loud. It's got solid diff bushings, something I kind of want to get rid of, so maybe another video. So I think we're good. That was a 3rd gear rip and this thing's pretty solid. I think we're ready for next weekend. But I'm gonna end it there. Like always, if you like this video, leave a like, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, leave a comment. I'll see you in the next one.